In the heart of a quiet African village, where the nights are lit only by the moon and the whispers of the ancestors, lived a man whose name struck fear into every household. His name was Ogunrinde. To outsiders, he was a hunter and an herbalist, but to the villagers, he was something darker, a man who wielded charms to satisfy his desires, a man who turned into beasts of the night to steal from people's farms, and a man whose very shadow carried misfortune. This is the story of how Ogunrinde's wickedness destroyed lives, how he cursed a woman named Amoke, and how fate turned against him. Ogunrinde was no ordinary man. He was tall, with piercing eyes that made people look away when he entered a gathering. His hunting skills were unmatched, but people whispered that his success came not from skill, but from dark powers. He was known to force himself on women, using charms that clouded their will. Many feared him, but few dared to speak against him. Amoke was a young woman admired for her beauty, kindness, and grace. Men from far villages sought her hand in marriage, but she chose a humble, hard-working farmer who loved her dearly. When Ogunrinde approached Amoke, proposing to have her, she smiled politely and said, "Thank you, but I cannot. I do not wish to be with you." To any other man, it would have been a normal rejection, but to Ogunrinde, it was the ultimate insult. He clenched his jaw, and in his heart, he vowed, "If I cannot have Amoke, then she will never know happiness in her marriage." Amoke married her beloved, and for a while, life was good, but soon the joy faded. Months turned into years, and no child came. Her husband was patient at first, comforting her, saying, "It will happen in time." But as the seasons passed, whispers grew louder in the village. Other wives mocked her, calling her empty calabash. What Amoke and her husband did not know was that Ogunrinde had worked in secret. With his charms and dark sacrifices, he had cursed Amoke's womb. No matter how much she prayed, no matter how many herbs she took, her body remained barren. Her husband, under pressure from his family, took another wife. That wife bore him children. And Amoke's life became misery, mocked, abandoned, and broken. Desperate, Amoke traveled to healers and spiritual consultants in distant villages. They examined her, read the cowries, and told her, "This is not natural. Someone powerful has tied your womb. The hand behind this is strong, very strong." Finally, one elder whispered the truth. "It is Ogunrinde. He is the one who has cursed you." Amoke's heart broke. She remembered his anger, his piercing eyes, and the rejection she had given him. Her family gathered, and together they went to Ogunrinde's compound to beg. They knelt before him, offering gifts, pleading for mercy. But Ogunrinde only laughed. "If Amoke wants children," he said, "then she must come to me. She must lie with me. Only then will I untie what I have tied." Amoke's face burned with shame and anger. "Never," she shouted. "I would rather remain barren than allow your filth to touch me." Her family wept, but her decision was final. Amoke's marriage crumbled. Her co-wives tormented her. Her husband distanced himself. Eventually, she left his house and lived alone, surviving quietly. Though she was childless, she took in a young girl from a poor family and raised her as her own daughter. She poured all her love into this child, refusing to let Ogunrinde's curse break her spirit. Meanwhile, Ogunrinde grew older but never abandoned his evil ways. He still roamed the night as a beast, raiding farms, spreading fear, and boasting of the lives he had ruined. One night, Ogunrinde transformed into an antelope and crept into a farmer's okra plantation. Greedy and careless, he ate the crops noisily. But fate had waited too long. A hunter was nearby, watching. He saw the fat antelope destroying the farm. He raised his gun, aimed carefully, and fired. The bullet struck true. The beast fell, but as the hunter approached, the animal began to change. Before his eyes, the antelope's form twisted and shrank, revealing the bleeding body of Ogunrinde. The village gasped when they saw him carried home. Struggling for breath, Ogunrinde begged, "Bring me the antelope's heart. If I eat it, I will live." But the hunter who shot him stood firm. "You have destroyed too many lives. You will not escape justice this time." No one argued. The villagers had suffered too long. And so Ogunrinde died. When the news spread, Amoke shed quiet tears, not of sorrow, but of release. The shadow over her life had lifted. She grew old with dignity, raising her adopted daughter. Though she never bore her own children, she lived respected, known as a woman who refused to compromise her values even in the face of unbearable pain. And the villagers learned a lesson that was told for generations. Evil may thrive for a season, but in the end, the hunter becomes a hunted. So, dear listener, remember this tale. The story of Amoke and Ogunrinde is not just of witchcraft and curses. It is a reminder that power misused will always turn back to destroy its owner. When next you walk the village at night and you hear the rustle in the bush, remember, sometimes it is not an animal. Sometimes it is the shadow of wicked.